Another great month for movies, so let's get into it. This time, we start off with the
bonus entry alert.
Oh, please tell me this isn't gonna go romantic. A dude was in the house, about to grab Annie, smash your brains in, and then you guys are gonna have time to talk about your romantic desires for each other. Just shoot me already.
This was the Hale Theater play I saw this month, and it's just okay. The actors all give funny performances, but the story makes no sense, and it goes on for way too long. Moving on.
What's wrong with my chicken?
Quick spoiler, most of the movies on this list are great. Thus, I wanted to see a bad movie just to balance things out a bit. Yes, I have a problem. Then again, this wasn't so bad. The continuity of this movie is pretty whack since Edmund reads the story of Chanticleer, which then immediately comes true, with no explanation as to why. Also, the pacing is way too fast, but in a different way from most modern Disney movies. Also, as to be expected from Don Bluth's movies, the animation is amazing. Also, I love the comedic dynamic between the Grand Owl and his dim-witted nephew. Overall, this movie's not anything to write home about, but it's a fine one-time watch movie. A new Mario movie came out this month, so I decided to watch the original live-action film. Yay! I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. This is a really bad movie, but I would be lying if I said I did not enjoy watching it. I love that in spite of the dumb plot, the filmmakers just go all out with it. From the dumb plot explaining that Koopas are just humans that evolved from dinosaurs to the way the writers explain the Goombas, it's just the best kind of bad. The actors are also trying so hard to make these bad roles work to the point that it loops back around and becomes funny. Also, so many scenes are delightfully stupid, like the scene where the Mario brothers easily get Bowser stuck in the Evolve machine right after he threatens them. Then there's the scene of Spike acting high and mighty while watching his friend get devolved, only for nothing bad to happen to said friend and for Spike to immediately afterwards get the same treatment. As for the flaws, they're obvious. This is a pretty bad adaptation of the games. Also, the movie can be way too raunchy at times, which, if you watch my previous video, you know it's not really my thing, but that's not business. And John Leguizamo is the only character who's exempt from the so bad it's good acting of the other actors, and just comes across as awkward. But still, this movie is definitely worth a watch just to laugh at how stupid it is.
Cody, why is he looking at us like that?
Because, Junior, I'm the salad and you're the Big Mac!
Yeah, I think I just got everyone mad at me again. We're 3-0 now. I'm sorry, I'm just not the biggest fan of The Land Before Time. I know most people regard this as Don Bluth's magnum opus, but it just didn't click with me when compared to his other films. And I think the main reason for this is the fact that it feels the least like one of Don Bluth's movies. The thing that I like about All Dogs Go to Heaven and Tai-Nei is the completely batshit insane plot and characters they have, which, even if they're not that well made, are still enjoyable to watch. Here, while still better than, say, Disney's Dinosaur or The Good Dinosaur, it's just pretty standard with its ideas and doesn't really go off the rails at any point. Also, not much happens in this movie, as it's only an hour long. Also, the other characters don't do much since they just join the group immediately after being introduced. Lastly, I freaking hate Sarah as a character. I know she's supposed to go through an arc, but she never goes through any satisfying comeuppance for being a jerk to Littlefoot. However, it is still very well made and has beautiful animation, as well as some good quiet moments. Overall, while not a favorite of mine, it's still good. Yeah, spoilers ahead, just so you know. I needed to see 3 movies this month, and this was the only other film I was willing to watch. And despite being the weakest of those 3, it's still pretty good. The first thing I noticed was how good the acting was in this film. Throughout the film, MJ has a constant look of suppressed anxiety throughout his arc, and considering how abusive MJ's father was, I'd imagine that's accurate to real life. Also, I was jamming out to every song. Lastly, that ending was so satisfying. I know a lot of people have complained that this movie doesn't show the controversy Michael Jackson would be involved with later in life, but to be honest, I'm glad they didn't include that because it doesn't cause the movie to come to a screeching halt, like in Elvis or A Complete Unknown. As for the flaws, MJ's father is as jerkish as they come. Also, the movie was a little slow towards the middle. However, it was completely worth it when I got to the end and the song Bad started playing. If I got a nickel for every time I saw a movie which ended with a song Bad by Michael Jackson, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't a lot, but it's strange to happen twice, right?
Therefore, the national bird of America is going to be...
I first heard about this movie last year while watching Noah Live, or maybe it was that George Washington movie. But I digress. At first, this movie didn't seem like anything special. The scenes were way too overdramatic and emotionally manipulative, like every generic Christian family movie. However, the movie gets better when Ben Franklin meets George Whitfield. The scenes where Ben doesn't believe in the gospel despite respecting George hit very close to home, to the point that I ended up tearing up towards the end. Overall, while this movie is certainly not perfect, it's really good. Now enough of this schmaltz, let's move on to something fun!
Oh, and better yet, you can become a black hole and suck up everything in the universe! Bowser Tuesday Street!
I know a lot of people just found this movie okay, but I had a lot of fun with it. Father-son bond between Bowser and Jr. is just adorable. I loved all the references to Pikmin, Star Fox, Mr. Game & Watch, Rob, etc. The action scenes are so fun. And lastly, I like that Mario strives to do good no matter what, like when he tries to help Peach when she's at the end of a rope. Now, granted, Rosalina is barely in the movie. We don't see DK or Mario's family at all, and the movie isn't exactly deep. Also, the scene with Baby Mario and Luigi is completely stupid, but then again, this is an Illumination movie, so what did I expect? But still, this movie is definitely better than the first one.
And from that day forward, anytime a bunch of animals are together in one place, it's called a farm.
I watched this in preparation for the release of the 2026 remake. More on that film later. And this original film was superb. For starters, the movie is very dark and holds absolutely no punches. The metaphor behind the film is sadly accurate to real life, even if most people would say that the metaphor of the movie is slightly different than that of the book. Also, despite being a really short film, it is very well paced, and that ending goes so darn hard. As for my issues with the film, it's very hard to watch, and I am in no hurry to watch it again. Also, this movie was originally created as propaganda, which doesn't necessarily bother me. I could understand how it would bug other people. Golly, this remake is gonna be a nightmare to talk about. Also, I would have preferred if the animals didn't start directly parroting human customs at the end, as I feel they could have used a better metaphor for the pigs acting more like humans at the end. But still, this is a masterpiece.
If you're interested, Jesus Christ is still on display in the Matrix at the London Zoo for a limited time only, so don't delay, get your tickets today. London Zoo. We have animals and a dead hairy man.
I first learned about this movie from a friend of mine who claimed it was the darkest movie he had ever seen. And while not as dark as Nefarious, just like Animal Farm, it is still very dark. Every scene goes so hard, and unlike King of Kings, there isn't a completely stupid kid protagonist. Just like Animal Farm, though, I'm in no hurry to rewatch this film because it's very dark subject matter. Wait, Jim Caviezel was in Frequency? What?
Come on, Gromit, we've got to hide the body. There's no cheese and crackers in prison, Gromit.
This was the last DreamWorks movie that I had never seen before. That I had any interest in watching, that is. And boy, was I missing out. Wallace and Gromit are so funny, the comedy is top tier, and aside from that, the movie is just so much fun. Honestly, my only issue with this film is that it's a little too short, but still, it is amazing.
And then, one day, I got in.
This is the most relatable movie I have ever seen, to the point that a few tears were shed at the end. But even putting that aside, Jeff Bridges voices the Aviator, which gets a lot of brownie points for me. The stop motion scenes are beautiful and wondrous, and the movie as a whole is wondrous. Now granted, the Aviator can be a little creepy at times, but that was completely unintentional, so I'll let that slide. Also, the CG is not the best, but I think that was intentional as it contrasts the stop motion scenes. Overall, this is a masterpiece. Anywho, see you next time, guys. Bye-bye.